Hello everybody. In this spring, I took you guys along for the ride of setting up a couple 100-gallon tubs outside for the shrimp. And of course, we got the wild animals outside and I set up filters with solar powered air pumps. We have that. Our temperatures have been all over the place, but things are doing good. So let's take a look at what we got going so far. And the first one we'll take a look at here is the Bloody Mary 100-gallon tub. Now in both these tubs I only put like 30 shrimp in each one. These are just tests. I'm not sure. And like I mentioned earlier, our weather has been all over the place. Water temperatures have been all the way up to 90 and all the way down into the 50s. We had a day last week where the high only got up to 61 and it was in the 40s most of the day. So that was a cool chilly day. But now in this one I have seen little baby Bloody Mary shrimp swimming around, so we do have reproduction and it is working. This one started off, this one has been pretty clear. It went a little green but not very green, but it has always been full of hair algae. The moss I put in here just got covered in hair algae. But the shrimp seem to be doing good. I really had my doubts. It was just a mucky, yucky mess while it was balancing itself out. And temperatures were going all over the place. It was getting really cool there at first. And, you know, Indiana Springs, you can be in the 30s or you can be in the 90s. But now that we're here in summer, I think reliably warm weather is here to stay. There's the air pump. That's a cool little thing. These things are awesome. I can't recommend these enough. I plugged them in. They got a battery in them. They run all night, 24 hours a day. Don't have to worry about anything. They never shut off. And then let's take a look down in the water. You can see it's hard to film like this, but look at the algae you get growing on the sides of these tanks. I very rarely throw any food in here because obviously nature takes care of it. All the ponds I might throw a little bit of food in once a week, and that's even in the one with the guppies. Nature takes care of all out here for the most part. We got this nice fluffy algae. Usually you can see more shrimp, and like I said, this weekend I saw baby shrimp swim around in here for the first time. But we're talking 100 gallons of water and there's only a handful of shrimp out here, and it's halfway covered in algae. The water lilies in here ain't really doing all that good, but that is because I didn't fertilize them. I'm worried about the shrimp in here. Alright, now this one is the blue jelly pond, and it's doing good. It has the same air pump, same filter setup as the other one. Nothing different there. Same thing with the water lilies. They're not doing that good because I didn't fertilize them any. But look how clear this one is, and this one doesn't have hardly any hair algae in it. This one went completely pea soup green. You can see little shrimpy swimming around in there. Little shrimpy swimming around. It went completely pea soup green. There's where they all like to hang out at, down there in that corner. And most of these shrimp, when I put them in here, they're all really young. And so everything's grown up. Every time I look in here, you see shrimp scurrying around. I've seen a couple great big buried females in here. The moss has grown interestingly in here outside. It did get a little bit of algae in it, and then it went green. And then no more algae, hair algae in this one, really. But both these tanks have really, really good coatings, and then you can tell when I do my water changes, I just fill it up until the tanks get ready to overflow, and then I have my overflow built in there, and that keeps it. That's how I do my water changes. And let's take a look down here. Come down real close. Look at all of them. Oh god, they're all freaked out. But I think they're breeding and doing good in here too. Of course, the blue jellies are harder to see outside than the bright red Bloody Marys. But they're doing good. I have nothing to complain about as far as these two shrimp ponds go. really good. And this is my bigger in-ground pond with a 3,000 plus gallon per hour pump and waterfall. And this is where I'm trying to raise my own line of guppies I've been working on for the last year and a half or so. And all last winter, I was getting enough good breeders together to put outside. And so now we don't have very many males out here. But I have noticed a lot of the young fish that I put out here, they are now coloring up, and there's dozens and dozens and dozens. Clouds of fry. I haven't been able, those are hard to catch on camera. All the little tiny babies. And then I actually had to do a custom mod here. I had to do one of my filter intakes on the pump with sponges. And luckily, I figured I'd have to be cleaning that out once a week. It'd be clogged up, but it's going on its third week now since I redid that intake. And the flow's still going real good. I imagine I will have to clean it out more and more. But ever since I've done that, the water stayed pretty much crystal clear. You can see this is the mini cattails popping up right there. The hardy water lily. And look at that. We got that hardy water lily is getting ready to bud. So we'll have a flower on there before too much longer. Take a look at that. Just now hit the surface today. Hopefully it'll be opening up here in the next couple weeks. It'll take a while to get going. Like I said, the weather has been really cool. We've had real hot days and we've had really cool days. So it's kind of made the weather pretty screwy. And so things, overall, it's been cooler with bursts of extreme heat, it seems like. And so the lilies and stuff like that are really slow and behind schedule. Now, I did have a really nice thick mat of pilo moss growing on my waterfall. Well, that had to go because this thing is beginning to go to the birds. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about there here in a little bit with the birds. But even if I'm sitting out here on the deck just looking at things, watching it, and look at that, we even got snails. There's hundreds and hundreds of pond snails. There's so many pond snails. They're climbing up out of the water into the waterfall. And here I am trying to get some underwater shots. This is a mess. This is so hard to get. Crouch down on the ground, stick it blindly shooting at fish. You can see the little males are starting to color up, but this is the line I've created. They are the Japan blue body with a red mosaic tail. And I'm pretty proud of what they're looking like now. Like I said, they're just now starting to color up, but I'm thinking right into this summer, this thing is going to be popping with the neon blues and the red mosaic tails. If you look in here real close, you can see when these males, when they start coloring up, their tails are yellow. So they're all young males just starting to color up. And I do have a handful of shrimp in here that I've seen. There's a male that's grown up a little bit and colored up pretty good. You see we got lots and lots of great big females. And the difference when you're raising these guppies outside, it just blows my mind. Like by the time they're a week old, they're too big to get ate. Even like 3 days old, they're really too big and fast to get ate. I think that's why you have so much success when you raise these guppies outside in great big bodies of water. Trying to get the shot of all the little baby fry there, because they're usually up at the surface, but they're so little they're hard to get. If you look real close, you can kind of see them. Trying to get some interesting shots looking up at the sky. That's what all the guppies see when they see me looking down at them. So I put, like I said, just a small handful of males I put out here, and mostly great big females that were younger, and now they're great big. But they're doing really good. Excuse a little bit of the mess now. When I was talking about the birds, these birds, they tore up all the pilo moss and they made the stream get backed up. So then half the water was dumped out on the ground. Let me explain. So with that big powerful pump, and I have two liners pieced together, if that flow gets backed up on that stream, the water will come out the sides, out the back. And so the birds, as you can tell, we have so many birds. It's just a continuous parade of birds. So if you want to be a bird watcher, set one of these up, because you're guaranteed to be a bird watcher, at least where I live. I mean, sometimes the outside nature certainly makes things more difficult, but it makes it rewarding. I set all this up for my guppies and shrimp to reproduce outside during the summer, and it's always nice to see the local wildlife. We had some really we've had some really dry weather, kind of in a drought type of situation, and so this has been a lifesaver, I think, for all these birds, especially when they're fledgling and they're just learning how to fly. Lots and lots of little juvenile birds coming by, because we didn't get a drop of rain for over a month. It was bone dry, and so the birds use this as a lifeline. And I sure have enjoyed watching them. So this bit of the birds here at the end, I went out, put my little camera on a tripod on the deck, focused it right here for not even an hour, and I edited it down to like 14 and a half minutes of just birds. So we got almost 15 minutes of birds. So the shrimp and guppies part is done. So I'll just close out the video. If you like, hang out and watch the birdies. I do a lot of this. This is my view sitting on the deck watching the birds. Usually I'm out here cooking on the Blackstone. My wife's over there on the smoker. And we sit out here and chill and enjoy the pond and the wildlife. And Bailey, she sure enjoys it too. I didn't get any mulch or rocks out here around the pond because, the dogs are just going to knock it in the water. So it don't look as good, but it's functional. Again, thank you guys for watching. Bye.